Hello, welcome to the United Man. My name is Shane. This is the latest transfer news now. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so looking forward to getting into it. So as we approach the latest Manchester United saga transfer window, all the transfer windows that we end up being part of ends up being a saga. That being said, there's still a lot of business that needs to get done before we can even think about getting anywhere near the top four. Obviously, as things stand, we're in, well, not a very good position. We'll start with Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho has had an immense debut season at Borussia Dortmund, where he scored, I believe it was 12 goals and assisted on 17 occasions. Now, for an 18-year-old, which he was at the time, to make that impact on the Bundesliga in your debut season was immense. Now, Jadon Sancho as an individual, I believe is only going to get better and better and better. His performances for England have suggested as such. As I mentioned, his debut season for Dortmund last season, and also as he has kicked off this season as well, scoring already 5 goals and assisting on 9 occasions as well. Jadon Sancho is a winger. He can score goals, but is a creator. We really don't have anyone in that mould where they're technically gifted, they can score goals, and they're consistently creating opportunities. Daniel James, obviously being a 21-year-old, he's actually older than Jadon Sancho. But Daniel James was more of a sort of long-term project than someone that was due to come in and start for Manchester United. Such is the lack of, I believe, quality in depth that we're having to start Daniel James. If we were to be able to prize Jadon Sancho away from Borussia Dortmund, it would probably cost somewhere in the region of 100 million. And that's pounds sterling. So yeah, it cost a bomb to try and prize him away from Borussia Dortmund. I believe he is actually interested in leaving Borussia Dortmund, and those have been the rumblings since summer. There's been nothing to dispel that. As I said, there was whispers of Borussia Dortmund looking to get rid of him in January anyway, should the price be right. If we can indeed manage to get Jadon Sancho, I believe he'd be interested in this Manchester United project, and not forgetting his age. He's only 20 years of age, only just turned 20. So if we could get him on board, flying winger, beats players, creates and scores goals, that'd be fantastic. Now, Europe's hot #1 prospect, that is Erling Haaland. Now, this kid is doing amazing stuff over at Salzburg. Obviously, it's in the Austrian league, but he's only 19, standing 6'3", 6'4" tall. He's an athlete, but a dangerous finisher. I've watched him live probably about 4 times. That's mainly through the Champions League. Obviously, he's seen him all over YouTube and whatnot. But what interested me about Haaland was some of the other professionals' opinion on him, where you had the likes of Henrik Larsson saying that he's just an out-and-out goal scorer. He takes people by surprise with his pace. He looks like he's not running fast, but he actually is going pretty quick. Now, people say, yeah, he's he's playing in the Austrian league where he's actually scored. He scored 27 goals. And assisted on 7 occasions in 19 games. In 19 games, he scored 27 times. That in any league is very good going, even in Sunday league, let alone in professional football. And people say, well, it's the Austrian league, but as I said, he's a professional footballer. He's playing at the highest standard in that league. Can't take for granted. Now, for people that say, as I said, he's playing in the Austrian league, so it's a Mickey Mouse league, the guy scored on 8 separate occasions in the Champions League. That's the top pinnacle of European football the guy's performing on. So for all those people who are saying, oh, it's the Austrian league, he scored 8 times in the Champions League. He scored, 3 or 4 hat-tricks, maybe more this season. So yeah, I know Ollie has a very good relationship with him. He said that he'd like to play for a manager that he believes in. And he rates Ollie very highly, which we do know. He's played for Ollie at Mulder. Now, there was speculation saying that his dad, because his dad played for Man City and Leeds, obviously rivals of Man United, that his dad wouldn't want him to go to Manchester United. Those rumours were dispelled as well, with his dad coming out saying he would love for his son to play for Man United if that so became his option. Unfortunately, there's obviously, with him being so good and his potential being sky high, there's tons of interest around Europe. So I believe Ollie would be the actual key in actually trying to sign him, because I believe what he came out and said was Ollie, both personally and professionally, has had a big impact on his life. So hopefully that sways him our way. And I know Salzburg don't want to sell him in January, but I know that Ollie, obviously reports suggesting that as well, both in Austria and obviously in England, suggesting that Ollie's going after him and is Manchester United's #1 target. Next up on the list is the German maestro. He is being touted as the next big thing in Germany, coming straight out of Bayer Leverkusen. That is Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is a creative, goal-scoring, attacking midfielder. The likes of your Mario Götze, I suppose, Frank Lampard-esque, and so on and so forth. Kai Havertz is 20. He's had, again, a very, very impressive season for Bayer Leverkusen last season. I believe it's only a matter of time before he leaves Bayer Leverkusen. Now, there's been every man and his dog after him. Obviously, Bayern Munich will be interested. Borussia Dortmund, Juventus, Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSG, and all them guys. Man City as well. So, in terms of us being able to get him, it'd be an interesting proposition. I don't believe he would be someone that would want to go to Manchester United in our current state. As much as, it'd be interesting to see him there, I believe he'd be more inclined, and there had been whispers of that being true, that he'd be more inclined to stay in Germany and more than likely end up at Bayern Munich, as all great, most great Germany players do. James Maddison from Leicester City. Now, Leicester City are doing really, really well, obviously, in the league at the moment. So it cost an absolute bomb to try and get him across to Manchester United. We're talking in a region of 85, 90 mil probably. Young English, so there's a premium straight away on his head. Performing very well, scoring and assisting goals. So that being said, I believe there's been numerous reports from over the summer and since suggesting that James Maddison would be very interested in a move to Manchester United. Now, James Maddison would be my preferred choice, even if Bruno Fernandes was still on the list, which he's not. He's recently signed a contract, but even if he was, even at the time in the summer, I was suggesting that James Maddison be an option for us. Now, even when he was at Norwich, he assisted something in his last season at Norwich. He assisted something ridiculous like 21 goals and scoring on 18 occasions as well. He just had a ridiculous season. So for the Man United scouts not really picking up on James Maddison, or indeed at least putting him forward as a case to Ollie as a viable alternative, something obviously went wrong there. Now, obviously, if you look at Leicester's midfield with Wilfred and Ndidi, Yuri Tillmans and James Maddison, all three of those guys could walk into Manchester United's centre midfield at the moment. And also, as I said, he's got that eye for the pass, which is desperately, desperately, desperately needed at United. He will, and I believe he will be an answer going forward if we somehow manage to prize him away from Leicester. Lastly, I did want to touch on Mario Mandzukic. Just taking it back to the summer, where I was saying on numerous occasions, obviously we've got Martial, we've got Daniel James, we've got Marcus Rashford, we've got Mason Greenwood coming off the bench. Obviously we sold Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez, who wasn't doing anything. But I was saying back then, and everyone was saying, no, he's too old. Mario Mandzukic, we needed a different option up front. All the players we have are very, very similar. They're young, rapid, and none of them are that great of finishers consistently. Now, Mario Mandzukic offers something very different. He's a big physical presence, very, very technically proficient, and he's a target man, and he's very, very experienced. At the moment, at Manchester United, we lack severely in experience, both playing in Europe and also playing in the Premier League, hence why the position we currently hold isn't very good. We need a lot more quality. We need a lot more experience to add to our youth. So yeah, hopefully we can get some of these deals done. Ultimately, I'd expect Sancho and Erling Haaland to be our main targets. And we'd probably look to add James Maddison in the summer if possible as well. So guys, much appreciated for you spending your time with me. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.